Imagine a cake so tantalizing it flips dessert expectations upside down. Yes, we're talking about the pineapple upside-down cake. This sweet treat is more than just a cake. It's a mouth-watering experience that starts with a unique baking process and ends with a delightful reveal when it's flipped upside down. The caramelized pineapple slices and cherries glistening on top add a fruity twist to the classic cake, making it a showstopper at any gathering. Today, you'll learn how to create this sweet, fruity sensation in your own kitchen. First things first, gather all your ingredients. For this recipe, you will need a half cup of unsalted butter. This will add a rich, creamy texture to your cake. Next up, 1 cup of packed brown sugar, which will lend a deep, caramel-like sweetness. You'll also need a 20-ounce can of pineapple slices. The pineapple is the star of the show, providing a tangy contrast to the sweetness of the cake. Don't forget the maraschino cherries, which add a pop of color and a burst of fruity flavor. For the cake batter, you'll need 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, and a half teaspoon of salt. Another half cup of unsalted butter softened, and 1 cup of granulated sugar will make your cake light and fluffy. Finally, 2 large eggs, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and a half cup of milk will bind everything together and add that classic cake flavor. With these ingredients at the ready, let's move on to the first step of the recipe. Start by preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius and greasing a 9-inch round cake pan. Now let's bring our focus to the butter. We'll take half a cup of unsalted butter and melt it. Once it's liquid gold, pour it into the base of your cake pan. It'll provide a buttery bed for our pineapple and cherries. Next, we'll sprinkle a cup of packed brown sugar over the melted butter. This will caramelize in the oven, creating a sweet, gooey layer that's the hallmark of a pineapple upside-down cake. And now, the star of the show, the pineapple slices. Drain a 20-ounce can of pineapple slices and arrange them over the brown sugar layer. Feel free to get creative with the pattern. Add some maraschino cherries into the mix for a pop of color and a bit of tartness to offset the sweetness. With the cake pan set up, it's time to move on to the batter. Now, the real magic begins. It's time to whisk together your dry ingredients. Let's start by combining 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, and half a teaspoon of salt. Give it a good whisk until it's well mixed. Now let's move on to the wet ingredients. In another bowl, you'll cream together half a cup of softened, unsalted butter and a cup of granulated sugar. You're looking for a light and fluffy consistency here. It's like mixing together little fluffy clouds of sweetness. Once you've achieved that, beat in the eggs, but remember, one at a time. Patience is key in baking, my friends. After the eggs, stir in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Ah, the sweet aroma of vanilla, it's like a little drop of heaven. Now here comes the crucial part. Gradually add your dry ingredients to the wet mixture. But wait, there's a twist. You'll need to alternate this with half a cup of milk. So, a bit of dry, then a bit of milk, and repeat. This process helps to keep the batter smooth and well mixed, ensuring our cake has a lovely, even texture. And voila, your batter is ready. It's a beautiful sight, isn't it? With the batter ready, it's time to pour it over the pineapple slices and pop it into the oven. Pour your batter over the pineapple slices, spread it evenly, and bake for about 45 to 50 minutes. As the sweet scent of baking fills your kitchen, you'll know you're close to tasting a delicious creation. Once the timer dings, it's time to check if our cake is ready. Grab a toothpick and gently insert it into the center of the cake. If it comes out clean, your cake is perfectly baked. If not, give it a few more minutes. Next, allow the cake to cool in the pan for about 5 minutes. This gives it time to settle and makes it easier to handle. But don't wait too long. This cake is best served warm. Now comes the exciting part. Carefully invert the cake onto a serving plate, revealing the beautiful caramelized pineapple and cherry topping. And there you have it, a delightful pineapple upside-down cake. Serve warm or at room temperature and enjoy this fruity, sweet sensation.